Welcome to Inside the Audition, the podcast where we go behind the scenes for a deep dive look into the world of auditions. I'm Joey Larsen, creator of Actors Audition Club, an international community helping actors book your dream roles in TV, film, and theater.
And I'm Brandon Knox, actor, producer, and co-host. Each episode, we chat with actors and industry professionals to share their audition experiences, insights, and advice.
We provide actors with actionable tips, strategies, and resources to help you elevate your auditions.
We demystify the often intimidating and misunderstood world of auditions to help you succeed.
So whether you're just starting out on your acting journey or you're a seasoned pro, join our Actors Audition Club members as we go
Inside the Audition.
Hello, we're back. It's me, Joey Freddy Larsen, here at Actors Audition Club, and I'm just popping in. We're going to do another replay recap of the rise of the digital CEO. For those of you playing along at home over the last few weeks, you've seen me. I'm part of the launch team with James, and the Rise of the Digital CEO training series has been happening in this past week and a half, and we're going to share some recaps. So first of all, who is James? James, a friend of mine. He's also my business coach. I went through this Rise of the Digital CEO training back in 2021. I return to it every year. Every year I learn new nuggets that help me level up my business. Also, I joined his coaching program, Business by Design, back in 2021. And this training, it is for actors, for comedians, for creators, for business owners. If you've ever thought of offering things like digital downloads, courses, coaching, memberships, workshops, master classes, any of those things, or if you just want to grow your audience and you're looking how to, as maybe you're a creator and you want to grow your audience, all of these things James can help you with. Again, maybe you're doing it a little bit now or you've thought about it, but live events, whether virtual or in person, selling live events, selling courses, coaches, courses, coaching, memberships, workshops, master classes, digital downloads, any of those things. James has been in that business for 16, 17 years. Every year, this Rise of the Digital CEO training, he basically opens up the hood to his 8-figure business and shows you exactly what you need to start, grow, and scale your own digital business. I know a lot of my audience is actors, comedians, and creators. So you might be thinking, well, what does business have to do with me? Well, guess what? If you are an actor, if you're a comedian, if you're a creator, you are your own business. You have your own business. The question is, are you operating like a CEO who is running that business? And if you're not operating like a CEO, then who is? If no one is, that just means you have a company with no one at the helm. Which means it's probably going to crash and burn at some point. So especially if you're an actor or comedian, this is a way for you to subsidize and supplement your performer income. Maybe it's a chance for you to replace your Joe jobs if you're still working a 9-to-5 and it's something that's soul sucking and you hate, and you have that push and pull of, oh, I want to be an actor and a performer, but I got to go work this job to pay my bills. This is exactly what the Rise of the Digital CEO will help you with. So again, if you're looking to grow your audience, if you're looking to sell digital downloads, either audio or video or PDFs, if you are looking to offer any kind of coaching, courses, you want to sell tickets to live events, whether that's in person or virtual, you want to offer paid workshops, paid classes, paid master classes, masterminds, or some kind of online digital membership. That's exactly what James is going to help you with. So day 2 training, I'm going to flip it over to a recap here. Day 2 is called Creating Money on Demand. James is about to walk you through his 6-step process to creating your next irresistible offer that you can send out to your audience and start getting paid maybe as early as today or tomorrow. So I'm going to share that with you. Feel free to ask any questions. You can ask questions in the comments. I'm going to share some links in the comments to make sure you get registered. But without any further ado, here we go.
Welcome to training 2 of the Rise of the Digital CEO. You know, the best way I can make a promise for what this training really is it's the difference that made the difference for me that allowed me to start, grow, and scale a digital product-based business. This is for anyone who is in any niche, any industry, but follows the one thing we all have in common, a really powerful leveraged model of selling your coaching, your information through the form of an online course, a membership, a group coaching program, virtual in-person retreats, events, etc. I've done it all, and I'm here to show you how you can do it all as well, because one of the things that I will continue to say is how much this business has given me fulfillment and purpose, and to get paid to do something that is rewarding, fulfilling, is helping people, is making a difference, is like the dream come true. It's also the most scalable and profitable business on the internet. Do you guys feel that those of you who are on live, like you feel like you're in a little bubble of an energy, and in this different energy in this bubble, like the ideas are coming, the insights, you're kind of feeling into that? Because I've seen so many of you in the group being like, yo, come and join live. And that is because we want this to be an experience for you. We're getting to the halfway point, and we ain't done yet. To start looking at this as a possible reflection, a mirror of how you show up in your business. Have any of you just had an insight for yourself in how I'm showing up in this training is reflective? Like some people maybe start to freak out and get overwhelmed. Are we doing that in our business? Some people are like, I got to get it perfect and right all the time, and I need someone to hold my hand every single way because I don't trust myself. Use these opportunities when things are coming up. If it's getting confronting for you, overwhelming, confusing, notice that as things begin to get clear and simpler for you, in other words, the path begins to emerge, the path to profit emerges for you, that a part of you, and you have to develop that perception, that awareness, that a part of you will try to find a way to sabotage, to slow you down, to keep you safe. Because you don't have to risk it when you're sitting on your biscuit, right? So remember I said at the beginning of training one, a huge piece of this is about allowing that experience of a breakthrough to occur to you, for you. That's what I want for you guys, because that's what my journey has been. These series of undulating, unavoidable breakthroughs that then resulted in huge, huge catapults in growth in the business, in revenue, and the ability to serve more people in a bigger way. Just a little recap of that first training. I started to point to you guys the under the surface, the invisible mechanisms of what today's most successful online experts, personal brands are doing to grow. I started to share with you specific habits and action items that we need to start doing differently, that the most successful digital CEOs are doing. And the gap is so clear, isn't it? Like the difference between how we have been showing up and who we need to be for our business to get what we want is so different. Life is choice. All I can really bring to you is a clear view of the choices that you get to make in your life. And for every choice, there's a consequence. For every cause, there's effect. And can you start to see that if you live with more power, presence, clarity, and certainty in your life, and you bring that into your business, every single day, you have the opportunity to choose more powerfully. It's easy to choose the old, isn't it? It's easy to choose what you've always been doing. That's what's familiar. That's what's been conditioned. That's what's a habit. It's hard for all of us to start making new choices. What we have today as a circumstance is the effect of a previous cause in our past actions, past decisions, which, as you also know, is predicated by past belief systems. So here we are today as the effect of our past. Does this make sense? Now, the tricky thing is then here we are in the present with this present circumstance, and we're now letting that circumstance and the story created by that circumstance to drive our current actions, decisions, and actions, our behaviors and our choices. How many of you have noticed some people are going, well, wait a second, I can't afford to outsource because I don't have the money to outsource. No, you can't afford to outsource because you haven't been outsourcing. The only reason that you don't have the money to outsource is because you've been doing all the things yourself that keep you busy but don't make you any money. And as I said on training one, how are you ever supposed to make money if you spend all day doing things that don't make you money? Do you see the cyclical loop that we keep ourselves in when we let our circumstances create our belief system, and then that belief system drives our actions and our choices? Life is choice. If we do that, our future results become the same as our past. Our past creates our future, therefore we repeat our circumstances. If anyone has felt like they've been in the same place in their business for more than 3 months, if anyone feels stuck in their business and they feel like I'm doing different things, but I'm in the same place, then this is the place for all of us to look. Now, again, none of this is to invalidate one's circumstances. It's the opposite. It's to honor it. Because every TED Talk you've ever watched that inspired you, every motivational speech, every incredible story is the story of someone who transcended their circumstances. You were inspired, you were moved because someone who was given a hand and dealt particular situations and circumstances rose above that. And if you want something extraordinary in your life, you also know that that's what you'll need to be doing as well. You'll need to have the courage and the faith to transcend circumstances, to rise above. And the good news is, quantum physics tells us the thought form can't exist without simultaneously creating the probability of its existence in reality. Why is this so important? This is so powerful. The moment you check in and ask one of the hardest questions, which is, what do I want? What do I want? Whatever answer comes from that, the very fact that it came from you, the thought form of I want this, means it's possible. Its probability of existence has already been created. So why do we keep walking around saying, do I have what it takes? Why do we continue to believe a lie that separates us from ourselves, which is why it feels so painful, because we're leaning into a lie that says, maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm not good enough for my goals. Maybe I'm not deserving of this. It's just quantum physics. If it came from within, it already exists as a probability. It's time to start asking ourselves new questions. Not do I have what it takes? Am I willing to give what it takes? That's just the choice. Goal setting 101. What do I want? Goal setting 202 that James teaches you over and over again. The thing that I want, what does it want from me? Or rather, what does it need from me? Your goals have needs. Your business has needs. That's all it is. And if you think you're going to create your successful business from the same version and aspect of you that was in a job and run it the same way, you got another thing coming to you. This is a really powerful distinction, and it's based on this very simple concept that the brain doesn't do anything. Your brain doesn't do anything that isn't useful. So often you'll notice that you develop habits, choices, actions, thoughts, stories that are not conducive and in alignment with the goals that you want. But as I said before, the brain doesn't do anything that isn't useful. That's where this concept of the secondary gain is. Ask yourself, what is the secondary gain of telling this story, of believing this lie? The answer is never nothing. There is no secondary gain because there always is. What is the payoff for me? What is the benefit for telling this story? I'm going to give you guys a moment to really think about this because it can be very different for every single person depending on the story and where you're at. For most of these, the secondary gain is it gets to keep me safe. Wow, this benefits me, protects me, keeps me safe. Okay, so you want to go deeper, but let's go even deeper. Safe from what? Safe from what? When you look at that story and you look at the secondary gain, you say it's keeping me safe, but safe from what? See, it's really interesting because when we feed these stories, most of us are more driven by avoiding pain. And so we start to unconsciously, without even realizing it, associate pain with living into our purpose, associate pain with living our best life and building a successful business. But when you really look at it, What are we really afraid of? So people are saying, safe from what? Failure and judgment. I've failed more times than probably most of you in this room. Why are we afraid of failure? What's so scary about failing? What is failing? Failure is simply a label or interpretation that is temporary for an outcome that didn't go your way. That's called life. That's more often than not. Are you really afraid of failure? Or are you afraid of what a failure in your life or business would mean about you? Which goes back to our identity. And are we afraid of the uncomfortable feelings, sensations, and emotions associated if we actually start to believe that? I don't know a single person that is successful today that has somehow managed to avoid failures and mistakes in their entire experience. So you're afraid of something that is absolutely going to happen. A failure is just you wanted to do something and it didn't work. When you go after what you want, one of two things will happen every single time. One of two things. You will either get the result that you wanted or the lesson that you needed. You will either, when you go after what you want, please hear this, you will either get the result that you wanted or you will get the lesson that you needed. The only reason you did not get the result that you wanted is because you needed the lesson that you needed in order to get the result. But when you're too busy in your self-pity, labeling everything as failure, you have masked the lesson, you do not learn the lesson, and you're either going to do one of two things. You're either going to repeat the failure because you didn't learn the lesson, or you're going to stop for good and give up. But when we stop putting all of our stories, interpretations on what happened, which is why I said we have to know our numbers, you start to understand that everything that occurs is offering you a gift of a lesson. And the way life works, loving the breakthroughs, the way life works, okay, I didn't make the rules. You don't need to repeat the problem once you've learned the lesson. I love the little example of the student who goes to the guru and says to the guru, you said that life is like school, but what's the difference between the two? And the guru says as simple as this, well, in school, you learn the lesson first, and then you take the test. But in life, you're given the test to see if you learn the lesson. Once you learn the lesson, you don't need to repeat the test. Your business will grow to the level of problems that you are willing to handle. And when you go after something, you're either going to get the results you wanted or the lesson you needed. There is no failure. Part of the process I teach is struggling entrepreneurs just focus on making money. Successful digital CEOs focus on making a machine that makes money. So we have to go to work building your business machine. The more that we do that, the more leverage we have, the more structure we have, the simpler and cleaner that it is. There are 5 gears in your business machine. We are teaching all of those on Training 3, but this first gear is so important that we have to dedicate a whole training to it. This is the big one, and this is your offer. Everything starts with your offer. If you are not seeing the results that you'd like, I can guarantee you at least 50% of it comes back to this right here, your offer. If you don't have an offer, you don't have something that people can buy. And if it ain't a good offer, it doesn't matter if you have it, no one's gonna buy it. There is an art and a science to this. And you don't get to make money until you have an offer. And it has to be a damn good offer. And this is why we start here. This is the bridge between where you're at and where you'd want to be. Does that make sense? And here's the other thing. If you have an online course or a membership, that's not your offer. In fact, this is the next thing that people do is they go, I created a course. I spent 6 months creating it. Let me know if you're guilty of this. And I'm just going to sell my course. I'm going to talk about my course. I'm going to sell my course. Hey, if you're doing this, by the way, that's not your offer. Number 2, that doesn't work. So now, good news, you've diagnosed successfully why it ain't working. If you've just put a product image with a name and an add to cart button on your website and you're like, why isn't anybody buying? Now you know. Because people don't buy online courses. People don't want your online course. How do I know this to be true? Because I know that your people are not lying up in bed at night going, I just wish I had another course. I just wish I had more videos, right? I don't think they are. My audience isn't. But this is also a really big one because I'm going to introduce you to a concept. This is a very beautiful phenomenon that I love to teach. If you feel like you are a great coach, if you feel like, James, I know I have something that can help people. I do help people. And when I get them, like if you're in that symptom of like, it's so hard to sell my stuff and it's so hard to get my exposure and get my name out there, but if someone does come in my world, it's like life is changed. Then you are probably dealing with the curse of coaching. What is the curse of coaching? Sadly, the curse of coaching is this theory, this hypothesis that I have, and I've seen a lot of evidence over the years that to the degree in which your coaching is outstanding, you're an amazing coach, is the inverse ability to market what you sell. A great coach is somebody who gets to the root cause of why this is happening. The root cause is what's behind all of this. And that's why you're such a great coach, because when you're in the coaching, you get to the root cause and they go, but in your marketing, do you think they know what the root cause is? No. That's why they're in the problem. That's why they need you. But all of your marketing talks about this and doesn't even mention above the surface what they're focused on. You're talking about things that are still invisible to them. And if it's invisible to them, it's irrelevant to them. You're speaking another language. Is this making sense? We have to take off our coaching hat when we are marketing and creating our offers if we want to have what's called an irresistible offer, because it's a completely different game. Okay? So your course is not your offer. I teach a 7-step process in Business by Design. It's an art and a science. The course or the membership or group coaching or one-on-one is one ingredient of those 7 steps. But I want you to look at this word, offer. It's actually a verb, to offer. It's not a thing. A course is not a verb. It's a thing. So the offer is the way in which everything is presented. It's the exchange of this for that. Who's ever heard of the V-bar? Who's ever heard of Anne-Marie Benstrom? You can actually buy the V-bar on eBay right now. None of you have heard that, I'm assuming, unless you've heard me talk about it before, right? Okay. How many of you have heard of the Thigh Master? I'm sure you all have. The Thigh Master and the wonderful Suzanne Summers created a record-breaking infomercial product that everyone has heard of. The Thigh Master is the V-bar. The V-bar was a failed product that did not sell, and a brilliant marketing team came in, repositioned it, redesigned it, and re-niched it. The V-bar was, talk about niching down. The V-bar was a full body workout. It's the same product. They repackaged it, they redesigned it, they renamed it, and they niched it down, and it became the greatest selling, record-breaking infomercial product of its time. What is the lesson here? Most of you have an incredible V-bar. It's an incredible product. But how we're positioning it, how we're marketing, how we're offering it needs work. But if we don't understand that, then we put it out there and go, no one wants it, no one likes me, I'm a failure. There's that failure again. Instead of understanding, until I position it properly and correctly, no one's going to buy it. This is an art. This is a science. And it's so important because I challenge people every year, and obviously no one's been able to. It's a really fun challenge. But find me one successful online expert who's selling a digital product who doesn't have an irresistible offer. It's quite literally, beautifully impossible. How could anybody have a successful digital product-based business with a bad offer? It doesn't happen, right? So how do we create something irresistible? We're going to tap into that today. Now, also, I'm going to take you through this process. It's called creating money on demand. It's 6 steps. Step 1, identify your outcome first. On a piece of paper, I'd like you to write down what's an outcome that would tell you that you are on the right track to the new you and the new business in 90 days or less. What's an outcome that would tell you that you're on the right path? A revenue number. Also, I'd like you to observe yourself as you try to come up with this number and notice what is coming up for you as you try to come up with this number. How many of you are filtering this number just in the next 90 days? We are close to quarter three. We're like 20 days away from quarter three. So what's a quarter three 90-day outcome goal? Revenue that you'd like to put down. Are you filtering this by what's realistic? What's possible? Are you noticing any of your money beliefs coming up even in just doing this? You know, one of the things that I've noticed, and obviously we're going to talk about this in Business by Design, is each and every one of us have a relationship with money. Most of us have a really unhealthy poverty mindset around money. And it's damn near impossible to build a business profitably and healthily, which means more money, if you have an unhealthy relationship with money. How are you supposed to make more money when you don't know how to manage it, attract it, or ask for it? Okay. So do you guys have an outcome? I'm going to use an example. I'm just using a random number. There's no reason why I chose 20 other than it makes my math a little easier. Okay. Now, we also know, I talked about on training one, there's an intimate relationship between income and impact. So this is the income, and we're going to figure out that making that created some level of impact in your business. That's my focus for 90 days. So I ask our students to do this all the time, and I love sharing their stories because I want to introduce you to two of our students, Alex and Megan of Zesty Ginger, and they went through this training. They're like, all right, James, I'll play ball. And they created their first 90-day outcome goal. Their number, 100K. Now, they're in the space of brain and hormonal health for women. They also do a lot of really cool stuff around leadership, habit formation, and personal transformation. So they are just like extraordinary. They got an amazing business, and I love them both to death. They're incredible. So there's their goal. They did step one. You've done step one. You did it. Let's move on to step number two. Step number two, we need to pull out our calculators. We need to do a little bit of math. And we need to look at that outcome and start to reverse engineer it and identify one way right now that you can get to that outcome. When you have it, write it down. And you can also put it in the chat box. For me, I could say 1 times 20,000, right? If I sold one offer at $20,000, I'm making 20K. Now, I know that sounds a little cheeky. Don't worry, we're not done. But it really isn't. I have a 100K. Yes, I have a 100K mentorship. I do a 15K VIP day. And I've had several different masterminds that I've done over the years where I charge anywhere from 30 to 40K for one spot into that mastermind. So it's not the most unreasonable thing to just say 1 times 20K. But I don't want you to stop there. I want you to see if you can identify another way. So we got the easy one out of the way. Well, here's another way. 10,000 times 2. So obviously if I sold something twice at 10,000, I got my outcome. The math has to math, folks, and that's the big lesson here. But I actually want you to come up with a total of 5. And I'll give you guys a moment to do this because I want to do this in real time with you. 5 ways in which you could hit that goal. Identify 5 ways. The math's got to math. Step 3, you need to pick one. And I'm going to help you do that right now. But if you would like my assistance in helping you choose the right one, then you got to trust my little process. You have just written down a list of 5 different ways to get to your outcome. And we're just going to go all in on one. So which one is that? I want you to number them. I'm just going to go back to the board here. I want you to put a number next to each one. So like 1 is this way, 2 is this way, 3 is this way, 4 and 5, right? And I want you to just review all of them, look at them in your mind. And then just listen to me as you're looking at them. I want you to imagine the possibility where I was able to get into my DeLorean, my time travel device, and I went out into the future and I went through 5 parallel realities where you did all 5 of those in each different reality, and all of them were equally successful. All 5 of these paths, all 5 of these options got you to the same outcome. If you knew that to be true, if I came back in my DeLorean and said, hey, all of them are going to work, so it's really just a matter of which one you want to do, which one is already jumping off the page, which one feels lighter, which one is calling to you, which one are you leaning in towards, which do you feel the most excited about, which is the one that's right in front of you that's already saying, pick me, circle that one. Okay, so you got your price. Add a 0 to the price. So 1,000 becomes 10,000. Now watch people freak out in the comments. Add a 0 for me. Do me a favor. Add the 0. Notice what comes up when you added the 0. Just sit with this for a moment. Did I ask you to add a 0? Here's one of the first key secrets to crafting an irresistible offer. The struggling course creator is trying to justify the price. Successful online experts and entrepreneurs don't justify the price. They justify the value. Imagine for a moment that I had a $100 bill and I ask you, do you want this $100 bill? I'll give you this $100 bill. Now, hold on. In exchange for this $100 bill, I need you to take a $100 bill, put it in an envelope. I'll give you the address. Obviously, you're going to have to provide postage, and I'll tell you where to mail it to. Once I receive it, I will, and please include like where you want the money. I will then send you the $100. Who would do that? Who would take the time to write an envelope, get cash, put it in there, put a stamp on it, and mail it, and wait a week to get a $100 bill? I'm assuming nobody, right? That'd be kind of weird. I'm not going to sign it or anything. But what if I told you, I'm not just going to give you that $100 bill once I get your $100 bill, but I'm also going to have a ticket in there. So you're going to get the $100 bill, and you're also going to get a ticket. And that ticket is to an intimate 3-day mastermind that I'm hosting in Sedona, Arizona, with 10 7-figure business owners that are all going to be sharing the latest of what's working in their business. And I might as well just pay for your airfare out there, and I'll hook you up in one of my Airbnbs. Now, who would want that $100 bill? The struggling course creator is struggling because they're trying to justify the price. They're trying to convince, or maybe it's you, trying to convince their audience it's worth this price. When you can show and convey that it's worth a minimum of 10 times the price, when you are playing with the value, you have mastered the first step to causing, conveying, and demonstrating an irresistible offer that practically sells itself. Let me know in the chat box that this makes sense. This is so important. This is what I asked Alex and Megan to do. And what they did is they basically created a price point, $2,400. That was their price. Now, they created a second tier. This is an advanced strategy that I teach, that you can have a 2-tiered program. It's a really cool process. We're not going to get into that here today, but that's how they did it. But the base offer was $2,500, right? So you have your price point, and you're going to add a 0. Ready for step 4? Step 4 is to create your 10x offer. This is what's going to make it irresistible. So just take a moment and write. And I want it to come through you. Stop going back into your head and overthinking this. Allow it to come through. With now the 10x price, what problem would you solve for whom that is worth 10 times this price? Now, as you're writing, I'm just going to talk for a moment, but the most important thing is that you start writing, get things on paper, because we're in it, and we're in it to win it. What problem would you solve for whom? Price. There's a whole psychology to pricing that I love to teach you guys. And the first piece is understanding that if you're asking the question, how much would people be willing to pay for this? You're asking the wrong question, because the answer is as little as possible. But when you understand that all price is doing is determining who you attract, price determines who you attract, then you can price accordingly depending on who you want to attract. So what problem would you solve for whom? I'm going to give you an example of this. You guys know I built a $2 million a year business teaching YouTube, and I had a $97 online course. Now, I would have someone buy that course that was like the side hustle blogger that's making maybe $500 to $1,000 a month, and they just wanted to start making YouTube videos as well. So they'll pay $97 if it's like going to help them make $500 a month, right? Then one day I get a phone call, and the phone call is from a gentleman who's like, he's like got me on his car phone while he's driving on the freeway. So like while he's talking to me, he's like weaving and bobbing and weaving through traffic and like yelling at people. And this is a gentleman by the name of Carl Deichler. Now, if you don't know Carl Deichler, he's the CEO or the founder of a company called Beachbody, if you've ever heard of it. You know, remember like P90X and Tony Horton, remember all that? And he's the founder, like the dude that created it. And he's calling me. He's like, yeah, man, I started seeing your YouTube videos. He had sent me an email. I was like, can I chat? I just, sure, gave him my phone number, and he calls me. And he goes, look, I want to bring YouTube training to my 120,000 Beachbody coaches, the 120,000 salesperson team. Will you help all of them? Now let's pause for a moment. Would it be the same content and training? I'm teaching the same things to the side hustle blogger as I would to Beachbody. But can you see the value is completely different depending on who it is receiving the value? Write this down. Value is subjective. Value, there are people that go, this is not worth it to me. There is probably someone that you've seen come on here that wants to make money without doing anything. And then as the moment James goes up, you got to actually do work. They're like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. That's fine. But then there's those of you that have been like, this has been something I want to do, and it's been so hard, and I've been like going in circles, struggling with this, and you see that it's more valuable to you. So who you put this in front of will determine partially what the value is. Does this make sense? I want to give you another, I'm going to give you another question and then another metaphor that I think is going to help. I just want you to write for a moment. What would you provide, create, deliver in this offer that would align with this level of value? Okay. What goes in here in this offer? What's included? What experiences? What content? What resources? What training? I have a really powerful metaphor for you that I call the market river. If you imagine your market like a river, it's going to really help you because your market is moving like a current. Your market is not in the same place it was 3 years ago. I've heard a lot of you guys say things like, I had something that was working 3 years ago and it's not working anymore. It's like, why do you think that is? The market's moving. And some of you are new, so you're entering into a market. This is a market of desire, of what people want, what they need, right? And what a lot of people are doing is instead of asking these questions of what do they already need to get into this, they go, I'm going to set up shop over here. Tell me if you've been guilty of this. This is my little lemonade stand shop. And they're going, this isn't where the market is, but I'm going to try to divert the river here. I'm going to try to convince people to come down here. And I'm telling you, the moment you have to convince, you've already lost the game. You should never have to convince anybody because the desire is already here. What people want is what they already want. And how much easier would it be if you started setting up shop downstream of Desire River? So tap into the river of your market. What is it that they already want that if I gave to them, that I provided to them, was what they were already staying up late at night asking for, that this would make it a no-brainer for them? Does this make sense? What is something that you wrote down that you could provide in this offer that would make it absolutely irresistible because it's worth 10 times? What would you provide? Step 4. Is this finished right now? No, you can spend more time on it. But if you got 1, 2, or 3 things, you're already rocking and rolling. I'm going to take you to step 5. Step number 5, we need to identify the process. What does that mean? It's so simple. The process is the delivery mechanism. Okay? How are we getting what we want to give them to them? And there's different types of processes, and I'm going to go over those. But in order to do that, I want you to understand that how you provide value is different. There's different ways to do it than just teaching. And I really want you guys to understand that. It's just teaching something, just here's a piece of content and teach it, is not the only way to provide value to your people. How many of you guys have experienced value here from other ways, whether it was a resource, an exercise, a meditation, coaching, okay? So I want you to think beyond that. And I've got a little video I'm going to play for you now on the 5 levels of value distribution. These are 5 ways that you can deliver value to your clients, customers, and prospects. Let's go ahead and play that video for you right now. Your offer must first speak to the specific results that your prospects want. But there's more than one way to deliver on those results. And when you identify all 5 levels of value distribution, creating a second or third offer, well, that'll be a piece of cake. So the first level is done for you. By providing the service of actually doing the work for your customer, be it website design or writing copy, you provide an offer that's an easy sell and always in high demand. Take Tamiko Kelly, founder of Sleepwell, an expert in helping newborn babies sleep through the night. And when we met, she was flying across the country to personally assist in helping new parents directly in person. Now, she was making good money with her done-for-you service, but since there's only so many hours in a day, well, she was limited in her growth and the amount of people that she could help. Plus, traveling nonstop was not the lifestyle she saw for herself. It may not be the one you see for yourself either. And if you're currently stuck in that done-for-you service or one-on-one work, well, it's time you look at the other ways that you can help even more people. That takes us to the second level, teaching. It's the literal transference of knowledge from your brain into someone else's. And you can do this in a leveraged format through your online training videos, PDFs, audios, etc. This is when Tamiko decided to take everything she did and translate it into a simple to follow course that any parent could immediately learn and implement. From there, the next level we elevate to is called Done With You. Now at this level, anything you can do to bridge the gap between teaching and doing, well, that just makes your customer lives even easier. So this is where resources, templates, and pre-made assets come in. In fact, this is one of the ways that actually helps to make Business by Design completely unique in the marketplace. Inside the program, you'll find that we've given you the step-by-step execution guides and process maps that you can follow directly. Or if you're a more seasoned entrepreneur, well, you can just hand those execution guides right off to your team and they can implement them. And our digital CEOs love them. Okay, so the next level of value distribution is coaching. You get to help your students get results faster when you add a coaching element so they can effectively apply the how-to information to their unique circumstances. And in my experience, great coaching, well, that's the difference maker. Why? Well, as Einstein himself said, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. In other words, if you don't have someone in your life to offer you a different perspective, how else will you solve the problems that your thinking's created? Well, it's for this very reason that Business by Design leans so heavily into 6 weeks of group coaching. Now, finally, there's another form of value distribution that we call peer-based learning. You see, up until this point, the value distribution has come solely from you. At this level, you realize that you can provide massive value by putting like-minded people together in a room to coach and support each other. Now, you can do this through retreats, events, and my personal favorite, masterminds. In my business, I offer a 12-month mastermind to a select group of clients who are already at the high 6 or 7-figure level in their business. Each of these members have to apply first and invest up to $40,000 to be part of the group. And every year we sell it out. So there you have it, the 5 levels of value distribution. 5 different ways that you can use your knowledge and expertise in order to start helping even more people. Okay, that was a quick overview to begin to help you see all the different ways that you can provide value. And you'll notice that based on the type of process that you identify, that way you deliver it might change, right? So what I want to do is in this step 5, I'm going to walk you through, and this is very exciting. It's kind of like a Las Vegas buffet, 14 different ways that we have and we've seen our students turn the value that they are delivering in an irresistible offer into a way that people can receive it and make money. So this is picking your process. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. You might want to just screenshot when you see all of them on your page. And none of these decisions that you're making in these steps, right, need to be like locked in and cemented. Maybe you want to sit with this for a little bit, not too long, but start to ruminate on the different options that you have available for you. Let's get into this. Number 1, there's always something, we can do that is like one-on-one coaching. We can do this in a lot of different ways. This could be a VIP session. This could be weekly calls. This is why I also recommend if you are doing one-on-one coaching and you still want to do one-on-one coaching, it's also a great place to start, that you don't just look at it as I'm just trading time for dollars and it's just one session, one-off session, but you actually start to look at it like a package. That's what we recommend a lot of our students that are just getting started, is that you could go get a coaching client tomorrow. And we have a process inside BBD on how to get one-on-one coaching clients, but that you're offering it as a container with a specific result, okay? And obviously, the traditional way that you see a lot of people doing is creating an online course. So the online course is the content and information packaged together in a series of videos and a curriculum they go through. A membership can be similar, but obviously it has its differences. Usually it has more of an emphasis on the community aspect and what value is being delivered every single month. And it doesn't need to be content every month. It could be a resource every month. It could be a template every month. It could be a coaching call every month. So there's a lot of different ways that we can create and design a membership. And obviously, we have students that they sell templates, something that is more on a done with you approach, right? Group coaching. This is another very popular option. What would be the difference between an online course and group coaching? Well, obviously, we could have an online course that has group coaching, but a lot of our students create a group coaching program. Here's the promise with a very specific result. And over the next 8 weeks, we're going to get on Zoom every week. We're going to deliver the information, and we're going to offer support, coaching, Q&A around it, okay? A paid virtual workshop, in-person, IRL, real-life workshops, and live events. Notice the difference between a workshop and an event. They are different. Workshop usually come in there to like complete something very specific, where an event could have speakers, a lot of inspiration, exercises, etc. And then there's a retreat. Even though 8, 9, and 10 are all live and in person, they end up unfolding very differently. A retreat tends to be something that's like, feels like a retreat from your life. Like it's small, it's intimate. We're getting away from the day-to-day. I know a lot of clients that do 6 figures just doing a couple of retreats a year. And obviously they offer beautiful transformations. I run a mastermind. Like I said, mastermind is the 5th level of value distribution. That's peer-based learning, where who is in the room matters because those people are delivering the majority of the content. You could even just turn this into a model where you're getting paid to speak at other events. Mentorship. Like I told you earlier, I have a 1-year mentorship. It's $100K. That's like, this is the ultimate primo offer, right? It's like, if you want everything all the time, unlimited access, we can create a mentorship, okay? Training. What does James mean by training? Well, several years ago, I developed my own coaching methodology, and I started training my coaches on that. The coaches that are inside our Rise of the Digital CEO group, the coaches that are waiting for you inside the Business by Design group, they're all been trained on a methodology. But then my peers and other online experts came to me and said, will you train my coaches on that? So we started facilitating, delivering training to other people. And that was really cool. Now, those are 14 ways, but even those 14 ways create a bit of a ripple effect. When you do any type of live event, that becomes recordings. How can we reuse and repurpose those recordings? If you're doing certain types of events, virtual or in person, you can have sponsorships. I have students that generate a ton of revenue by including sponsorships at their events, right? Affiliate commissions. We actually teach a model that we love to see when 20 to 30% of our students' income or top line revenue comes from affiliate commissions, which means when you're building an audience, there's going to be other resources, tools, software that you recommend that they're asking for, and you can provide that. And then obviously certifications. I think that's a phenomenal model, depends on the niche, of course, to be able to offer something that's actually a certification and that people are getting paid, go through a test to get certified. You may even have an offer in there where it costs money to keep up to date with that certification and get retraining. And then there's the opportunity of turning this into licensing, white labeling, or translating into different languages. Every year, somebody asks me, will you translate BBD into the South American or the Spanish version or the French version? And we haven't done it yet, but it's always interesting to entertain because I've seen businesses that do it, and it's just like adding a whole nother arm to the business. So I hope you guys are starting to see all the different ways in which you can take this offer and deliver it in a process that matches the audience you're going towards and the value that you want to provide. These are the most common. I'm sure there's other ones that exist, but these are the most common and popular ones to choose from. One isn't necessarily better than other. It depends on a lot of factors. What does your audience want? And how do you want to be delivering this? Making sense? Well, let me show you what Alex and Megan decided to do. If you remember Alex and Megan, they just said, we want to create a product that is a healthy hormone teaching program. They turned it into a group program. And like I said, I also had like a second tier. So it also had additional coaching at $4,500. So when they did their step 5, they said, this is easy. It's going to be a group program. It has pre-recorded videos that they watch, and then they go on and do live Q&A calls. Really simple. This isn't rocket science, okay? So if you have some semblance of this, congratulations. You have just gone through 5 out of the 6 steps. And guess what step 6 is? Remove the 0. Oh, gosh. Thank goodness. Woo! Now that we've removed the 0, you can cross it out. How does that feel? Does it feel a little lighter? Does it feel a little more easier? Is it starting to feel like this is a no-brainer? I feel like I'm getting ripped off if I sell it at that price. And if you're not feeling like that, you need to. That's what's going to make it irresistible. I know this does not make sense, but if it doesn't feel like your audience is ripping you off, then you're not providing enough value, because if you're trying to justify the price, you've already lost the game. If you're showing that the value is far, 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 far more, that you're getting the raw end of the deal, I want to remind you that you can take a business to 7 figures with just one offer. Okay, let's check in with Alex and Megan, shall we? So they did these steps. Check this out. James, we hit our 100K goal. That was their goal, a 90-day goal, but only halfway through the 90 days. They did it in 45 days. And then we realized that we had so many other resources inside Business by Design that we might as well set up a beta launch for another program that they call the Health Transformation Accelerator. We had 30 women join our beta launch for $1,111 each, and we ended our first 90 days at $171,000. Business by Design and the way I work with clients is very simple. Pick your 90-day goal, run one of the sales machines that we have for you in BBD. If you can follow instructions, you can run one of the sales processes. The reality is most people are doing everything else in their business except making the outcome your primary focus and the sales system required to make that outcome a reality. That's also when I look here at my Q1, 2, 3, or 4 plan, I need 3 things from all of us. The outcome, the offer, and the sales system. Guess what's happening in training 3, baby? All 3 of these, and you'll be doing right as rain. I want to recap these 6 steps in case anyone came in late, got confused, got behind, got lost. Step 1, identify the outcome. Step 2, identify a way to get that outcome. The math's got a math. Step 3, pick one, then add a 0. Step 4, design the offer from the 10x price. That's the magic ingredient. If you're not doing that, selling is going to feel pushy, convincing, uphill, and very disappointed. People think that sales means you have to be some smooth salesperson. No. I mean, some people do that. You see a lot of people do that. No, it just has to be the creator of something desirable that helps, that people already want. This helps you tap into that. Step number 5, identify how you're going to deliver it. That's the process. And then step number 6, remove the 0. These are the 6 steps to creating a plan so you can create money on demand. Now, obviously, you're probably asking, well, what do I do next? If you've done the 6 steps, you've started going through this process, create money on demand, the question becomes, now what? What do I do next? Now, I'm going to answer that. And I want you to not go down with a loaded definition that a lot of people have, and I see it happen all the time. The answer is you're going to launch it. That word gets thrown around so much that you don't even know what it means. I don't want to do launches. What you just said, if you said, I don't want to do launches, I don't want to sell it. Are you sure you don't want to sell your stuff? A launch just means to offer it, to put it out there. In training 3, I will be sharing the 4 universal ingredients to every sales system, every launch. It doesn't have to be live. It can be completely automated. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. The size is irrelevant because there's different styles. And you guys need to start understanding that. Because what I said at the beginning of training 1, your digital product never sells itself. So we have to do the selling. Or rather, plug in a sales system that does the selling for you. We call that a launch, promoting it. I teach inside Business by Design. It says 11. I've added 2 more, and I might be adding 1 more because we've been testing and tinkering with some things. 13 different styles of launching, different ways in which you get sales. We must understand, please, your digital product will not sell itself just sitting on your website. It pains my heart. It is a process that people go through. I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's called Business by Design because you choose the style that matches your life first. The way we deliver Business by Design to you, it's a Lego instruction manual for every single type of launch that could possibly fit your needs. Business by Design. It's life by design. And every single one of these launch execution guides is a step-by-step process with to-dos. If you can follow directions, then you can deploy and implement. And if you start to hire, which we recommend, a virtual assistant, a couple hours a week, they can take a lot of this stuff off of your plate. And you get to choose. In Training 3, I'm going to go over the different styles. You're going to learn like how to choose the right one for you. But I really want you guys to stop asking, what's the best one? Why would you ask that? What does that even mean? You want to say, what's the right one for me? Which one matches my style, my energy, my vibe, my personality, and what's going to make the biggest difference for my students? Because every style, we have students that are seeing success. So it's really simple. This is how BBD works. 1, 2, 3. Pick your 90-day goal. Pick your offer and run a sales system. Now, you can have fun and produce results. That's what I want for you. This becomes the process that has so many of our students finally get in the damn game, get into business. And that's what I want for you. It's a step-by-step process called Monetize Before You Make It. It's in the name. That if you have an idea for an offer, if you went through these 6 steps, that you could actually get people to pay you for it even before you create it. That sounds crazy pants, does it not? Get paid first before you create it. However, it happens all the time. What do you think? You are literally kickstarting your business by running the Monetize Before You Make It process. Basically, you get to create a beta launch and attract your first 10, 15, 20 founding members or more and run them through a live version of your program. When you do this, 3 things are going to happen. First of all, if you get paid, then you get proof. You get proof that you got something. If any of you are sitting there going, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I've got a great offer. I don't know. You know how you'll know? When someone gives you money for it. The proof isn't in the pudding, it's in the profit. The proof is in the pudding. The second thing is you get paid up front. So you get the proof, you get paid. I'm just not a fan of so many good-hearted entrepreneurs working for free for a year of their life. And that's why most of them give up. You deserve to get paid for your work, but you got to ask for it. Number 3, you're going to get proof of results. All the P words. You're going to run people through this. You're going to deliver it live. And at the end, you're going to have these amazing people that got extraordinary results. Do you know how much easier it is to sell, to run another sales system when you have incredible case studies, testimonials, and examples? We have students running this in as little as 2 weeks. 2 weeks! And as long as 90 days. You get to choose that window. The process is really simple. We do 2 phases. The first phase is you're building a warm audience. There's a particular way in which you want to do that and get the interest list. I'm going to show you how you can start doing that today. And then phase 2, we are inviting and enrolling those people to become the founding members of your program. This is how so many of our students are finally getting into business, getting their content created, getting to customers, and finally doing it. This is what I want for you. Now, I know what comes up for so many of you, and this is going to help. Because some of you go, this sounds great, James, but I'm going to stay in that excuse, story, and circumstance that you pointed out to me 2 hours ago, but I just don't have a list yet. No, I don't have a list. Anybody? No? I don't have a list. I don't have an audience. So if you're not careful, here's what you're going to start to do. So you're going to say, I'm not going to do what James has been teaching for years that works. I'm going to do it my way. And I'm going to start building a list. So here's time. This is time. It's calendar. So first of all, you're probably going to spend the first 30 days trying to create something so that you can build your list. Anyone? Spent more than 30 days trying to create something so that they can start creating a list. And then you finally do. And you're like, I got a lead here. Oh my gosh. And I got 2 leads. And then a couple days go by. And then I got a lead. And then like, man, okay, I got to post more. Okay. Oh, I got a lead, right? I got a lead. And you're like adding it up. You're like, yeah, I got 5 people. Maybe I got one here. Here. Does this sound like anybody right now? Here. And you're collecting email addresses like my 8-year-old nephew collects Pokemon cards. You think it's some elusive number, I'm going to have enough, and that's going to give me permission. What is the lie you've told yourself of once I have a certain amount of leads, then I can finally sell? Did somebody tell you that? Because I hear it so often. And here's why that is the most bogus thing. Let's say you did 30 days of this and you're like, oh, I finally got this. Okay. And now you're right here. You're not really happy. You're kind of like, You really think this is still a lead? You really think this person has just been sitting here for 30 days waiting for you to help them? I'm going to put my life and my problems on hold until you muster up the courage to make an invite? I don't think so. You lost them. The longer time goes on, the less qualified, the less hungry, the less relevant the lead is. This makes sense. You guys get that? So we sit here and we spend time and we hope we get to some elusive number, and then we can say, I can have permission to do it. How's that working for you? And if we keep saying, I need a list so that I can launch, you're actually running things completely backwards. When all of our students, and there's some in the chat box, will tell you, it is your launch that builds your list. Write that down. Your launch builds your list. In fact, every single person will tell you that their launch is their biggest list builder. Every single time. Your launch builds your list. So you're waiting to build a list before you launch, and you have given your power away to an external circumstance. When you realize I can choose today powerfully to launch, launching builds my list. And it doesn't mean I need to do paid ads. You can do paid ads. You want to reach people, you got to do one of two things. You got to either put time or money into it. I say do both, but you either got to put content out or you got to pay for ads. But you're not building your list to the degree in which you could until you start that launch. All right? Making sense, right? I hope so. Okay. I'm going to give you a cool script that you can use to start building an interest list, because we want to manifest, set that rocket of desire out there to bring in your founding members. Here's a really cool script. I'll go through it. You can then screenshot it, and you can start to put in your own words and phrases, kind of like a Mad Lib style. So it's something to this. Now, whether this is a Facebook post in a group, your own group, Instagram Reel, an email to people you already have, anywhere you can start to reach out to people. Here's a format template that we can work with. I get asked by blank demographic, how to, big question, all the time. That sounds pretty easy. And that's because I've been able to transformation myself. And for the first time ever, I'm going to be teaching a small select group of students how to teach the thing I teach so that you too can have blank transformation. So if you're done struggling with this specific problem and you'd like to be a part of this special training, go ahead and send me a DM. Let me give you an example of this. This is an example. This is a made-up example. Let's do an example live. Give me something. Type it in the chat box. Let's see if I can do one live, okay? Give me a good niche topic that I can do live for somebody. Let's see. I saw that one first. Retreat planner. I'm going to do retreat planning. That sounds fun. Okay, you guys ready? So let's say I'm creating a program on how to, this is what I'm assuming it is, okay? So if I got it wrong, I assumed wrong, but I'm still going to demonstrate it. On how to create your own retreat. I get asked by coaches, teachers, and other facilitators all the time, how do you put together a stellar high-ticket retreat that is profitable and transformative? Now, I think the reason I get asked that, because that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. In several different niches and arenas, I have been able to plan, coordinate, attract, and deliver transformational retreats to small groups of individuals all over the world. And quite frankly, I think it is one of the most powerful containers for causing true and lasting change in other people's life. And if you've been asking this question too, chances are you're the type of person that has that burning desire, that nudge within you to help more people on a deeper level. And when you have them in person, in a container of time, separate from their day-to-day life, then you know that change and transformation is possible. But maybe you're sitting there going, how do I even get started? Maybe you're already thinking, There's so many things I don't know that what if I make a mistake? What if I mess up? What if no one comes? What if I can't fill it? What if I charge the price wrong? What if I actually lose money? And even though these are real and valid questions, they're all solvable. So for the first time ever, I'm going to be hosting a small select group of students live over 8 virtual calls. And I'm going to walk you through the entire process that we've mastered, replicated, and proven to work no matter what niche you're in, no matter where you're hosting the retreat, or no matter what your goals are. So if you're ready to make a ton of money and make an even bigger impact selling your first or next profitable transformative retreat, all you got to do is send me a DM and let's chat. And scene. Okay. Simple, yes or yes. Easy, maybe. Can you do it? I think so. I hope so. Practice it. Make a few versions of it. Use anything I gave as an example. Okay, now let me ask you guys this question. As I start giving you these pieces, and you go, oh, I have been overcomplicating. Anybody realizing that? Oh, I have been overcomplicating it. Oh, I have been making this a little too scary in my mind. Are you also noticing that some of that imposter syndrome is starting to come up? Are you noticing that some of the other fears are coming up, going, oh my gosh, so this is actually happening now, right? Who am I to be doing this? What if they don't like it? What if I'm not the best? What if there's already somebody doing this? All this fear coming up. This is very common. This is why I stayed stuck for so long. If I rewind the clock enough, for those of you guys who don't know, I used to be the YouTube guy. I built a business and teaching people how to make videos, and that was amazing. There was this moment where we finally launched a program, and me and my business partner sold this course, Video Traffic Academy. This is back in 2011, and it generated over $400,000 in sales in 30 days. And on one hand, I was just blown away because that was more money than I'd ever seen, ever made. It exceeded my goals and expectations of 4.5 years of struggle, 4.5 years of doing everything I could and not seeing anything. And overnight, everything changed, except for one thing. The one thing that didn't change was me. I was still the same insecure, self-loathing, low self-esteem kid full of a ton of disempowering core beliefs about myself. And in fact, I am so convinced that if I made a little bit of money or my bank account changed, that all of that within me would get fixed. But the opposite happened, because when I saw the money and saw that it didn't feel any different, that I was no different, it actually took me into a downward spiral. If you can imagine putting your heart and soul into something for 5 years of your life, you finally get it, and it felt empty. It felt meaningless. And now I'm just having this like quarter life existential crisis. And what do I do now? But something happened. And this was a miracle in disguise. Just by random chance, a couple of weeks into the program, I got my first testimonial. Someone on their own volition wrote in a post saying, this training was amazing. It helped me so much. Here's the results I got. This is incredible. Thank you so much, James. And it was like I got hit with something. It was like, as hard as I was trying to stay unhappy, I got hit with something. And then another one came in, and another one came in, and another one. And it was like, as hard as I wanted to stay unhappy, I couldn't, because I was hit with something new. And that was seeing evidence that I had made a difference for somebody else, that you matter. And the moment that happened, I had the beautiful gift, opportunity, and inevitable breakthrough of completely changing my compass, my North Star. You see, up until that point, I had done all this for money, for significance, for worthiness, and for something within me to change. And in that moment, I realized I could do it not for me, but for others. And that's what's been driving me ever since. And I know so many of you are already there, but if you're not there, hopefully this exercise was an opportunity to get there, because they've done studies. Money is one of the lowest forms of motivation, but you tap into this nitrous oxide rocket fuel. It will catapult you so much further, so much faster, and so much more powerfully when your focus and your attention is not on you, but on them. Who can I serve? Who can I help? Because the reality is there are people out there that are drowning. There are people out there that are really struggling. And as long as we're concerned and preoccupied with unimportant things like how I look and what they'll think, you never will have the opportunity to go out there and make a difference for somebody else. We are in the business of causing impact and trend. I don't care what niche you are in. You are in the business of changing lives. And you're either focused on that or you're focused on yourself. And if you look at what imposter syndrome is, there's one common word in every belief, thought, concern that encompasses imposter syndrome. What if I'm not enough? What if they don't like me? What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I'm not the best? What if they refund? What if they cancel? What if they say bad things? It's all me. And as long as your entire business and your entire brand is about protecting you, you will never get the chance to serve them. Because the people out there are looking for those that can help them, not you. When you get that, that changes everything. You are where your attention is. So where will your attention be today? Okay, makes sense? It's the end of training 2. Not the end of the series. Are you kidding? I got a whole nother final piece to bring this sucker home. What a blast. You know, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I love working with entrepreneurs because so many of you are already wired for growth. You're saying, how can I grow? And so many of you are also wired for service. How can I help? When you combine these two, you are unstoppable. How can I grow so that I can serve more? You are in full alignment because the more you gain, the more you have to give. I hope you're gaining something by being a part of this training. I hope you're growing just by being here. I hope you'll continue working with me because I got more to give. But I want to leave you today with another piece of little homework. This is a more introspective writing assignment. Obviously, so many of you so wisely have said, wow, I can spend a lot more time on these logical levels, homework from training 1, and go deeper with this. Yes, you can, and that's the point. But I want to give you a new little writing assignment. I'm going to put the questions on the screen. You can screenshot it, take a picture with your phone, but it's a chance as soon as possible to journal on this while you're still in the energy of this training, to just see what comes through, just kind of automatic writing. What is it time for now? Why are you really here in this training? And are you really here to just fill your head with more concepts from the shore? Or are you here to move into action so that you can serve whoever needs you? And how honest and accurate can you really be? What has really been preventing you from jumping in with the rest of us? Okay? And I want to tell you really quickly what's coming next. I shared a lot about how to craft an irresistible offer. I know we can overcomplicate it, but hopefully I gave you a way to start making it really simple. But there's 4 other gears that we need to have in place in your business so that you start making more money and working less. And that's what's coming on training 3. That's in 2 days. That's Thursday. We're going to show you how to put a sales system into your machine and how to attract more people into that machine and a few other really cool things. Plus, we're going to introduce you to our panelists. They're going to come on live and hang out with you and answer your questions. I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions, and it's going to be really, really amazing. So I hope you'll join us and join us live for that 3rd and final training because it's really, really mind-blowing. So this officially concludes training 2. We are now 2/3 of the way through, and I just want to acknowledge you guys so much for being here. For those of you being here live, like that's just amazing. Thank you, because I know it's a lot. I don't do short stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I got a lot to share, and I don't do little short 140 character quotes. I want to go deep, and I want to give it all. And we got more coming on Thursday. Take care, everyone. Thank you. I'll see you in the Facebook group. Take care.
Boom. There you have it. That was the day 2 recap of the Rise of the Digital CEO training with James Wedmore. That day 2 was how to create money on demand. Hopefully you went through the exercise and created your own irresistible offer. Again, this is a once-a-year training. There is still time to get registered for the 3-part training experience to access the entire training. all of the bonuses, all the resources, all the extra Q&A. You can still upgrade. You might have a little bit of time to upgrade to the VIP, which gives you lifetime access. But you can go to www.actorsauditionclub.com/business. Once again, that's actorsauditionclub.com/business. And you'll see a link to get registered. James only does this once a year. 3 days of training that a lot of people say is worth $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. A lot of people say it's worth more than paid programs that they've been through. I can attest to that. I've been going through this training every year for the last 4 years. I always find new pearls of wisdom, new gold nuggets that help me level up my business. So if you've ever thought, whether you're an actor, comedian, creator, maybe you already have some kind of side hustle or digital business, if you've ever thought of wanting to grow your audience online, wanting to sell digital downloads, whether that's audio, video, PDFs, those kind of files, or you want to sell tickets to live events, either in person or virtual, you want to offer coaching, courses, masterminds, masterclasses, paid workshops, memberships, live retreats, any of those things, James is your guy. You can register at actorsauditionclub.com/business. Like I said, I joined his program Business by Design in 2021. Last year, I used James' training and coaching to generate $91,259 selling live event tickets to live events and virtual events. Also digital downloads, coaching, courses, workshops, and memberships. So I'm on my way to 6 figures. James is an 8-figure entrepreneur. You want to learn from the best. If you've ever thought about starting or want to grow and scale your current business, James is your man. So thanks for checking this out. Again, go to actorsauditionclub.com/business. You can still get registered for the Rise of the Digital CEO. Tomorrow, Thursday, June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern time is the live part 3 training. But if you get registered, you can access the replays. If you can't be there live, that's okay. However, the energy live is much stronger and just palpable, and you'll for sure get more out of the experience if you can be there live. But get registered and you can access this game-changing training that will help you start, grow, and scale your digital business. And as James mentioned, it's about more than the money. The money is great, and we all need money to pay our bills. But one of the best things about a digital business is I think it's the most fulfilling business model because you're helping people. I make money from this, but I'm also helping actors shoot standout auditions, nail the callback, book the role. And I know that I'm changing their lives. I'm changing the lives of their family members as well by booking these lead roles and dream projects. So having this type of business allows you to stretch beyond yourself. I know it's real easy just to think like me, my career. But when you have a business like this, you go beyond yourself and you have the opportunity to impact others, to help others, to coach others, to help others learn and grow and reach their new levels. And that's what James's training has allowed me to do. If you've ever wanted to do the same thing, he's your guy. So go check out Rise of the Digital CEO at www.actorsauditionclub.com/business. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to Inside the Audition. This is our Digital CEO series that we've been offering once a year in support of James and the Rise of the Digital CEO training and the Business by Design launch that's coming up. If you have any questions about digital business, reach out, shoot me a message. You can email us at hello@actorsauditionclub.com or DM us on any of our social media. And I will be your digital business Sherpa on the way to Wedmore Mountain. Again, James is the guru. He's the business Yoda. But I'm starting to become a little bit of a digital business Jedi as well. So I can help you with that no matter what phase you're in, whether you're just starting, whether you're growing, or you're looking to scale an existing business. You could be an actor, a creator, a comedian, and you want to build a side hustle. You want to replace some of your Joe job income. You want to quit that 9-to-5. You want some extra income coming in to support your performance career. All those things. If you've ever thought of selling digital downloads, you want to grow your audience, sell audios, sell videos, sell any kind of like tangible product, like a PDF or files, those kind of things. Or it could be coaching, courses, workshops, classes, masterminds, memberships, live retreats, live events, virtual or in person, any of those things. James is your guy. So check out Rise of the Digital CEO, and we'll see you tomorrow for part 3, which is how to create your business machine. Remember, don't focus on making money. Focus on making a machine that makes money.